Chassidic Parashat of Vaetchanan, Parashat Vaetchanan, a profound reflection on faith, commandment, and hope. Parashat Vaetchanan, the 45th weekly Torah portion in the annual Jewish cycle of Torah reading, occupies a significant place in the hearts of the Jewish people. This parasha is not merely a narrative segment within the Torah, but a profound exploration of the relationship between God and the Israelites as they stand on the cusp of entering the Promised Land. As we immerse ourselves in the text, we encounter themes that resonate deeply with the human experience: the struggle for faith, the weight of divine commandments, and the enduring hope that serves as the foundation for Jewish identity. The opening verses of Vaetchanan present Moshe's heartfelt prayers as he pleads with God to allow him to enter the Promised Land. This moment is marked by an intense display of emotion, revealing Moshe's deep connection to the land and to his people. His yearning to step into the land that has been the subject of divine promise is palpable. Yet it is a moment tinged with sorrow. Moshe is informed that his journey will end on the outskirts of this long-awaited destination. This poignant reality reflects the complexities of leadership and the sacrifices that often accompany it. Moshe, who guided the Israelites through the trials of the desert and served as their mediator with GD, must accept that his role in their story will not conclude as he had hoped. This narrative thread introduces us to the theme of divine providence and the mystery of God's plans. Moshe's acceptance of God's decree illustrates a profound lesson in humility and faith. He does not question God's decision, but instead turns his focus to the people, emphasizing the importance of their relationship with God and the observance of his commandments. This transition from personal desire to communal obligation serves as a powerful reminder of the responsibilities that come with leadership and the need to prioritize the welfare of the community over individual aspirations. Among the wealth of teachings contained within this parasha, one finds the Matan Torah, the divine gift of the Torah on Mount Sinai, recounted with reverence in verses 4:10-13. This event is not merely a historical moment, it represents the covenantal relationship between God and the people of Israel. The Torah is portrayed as a living document, a guide that shapes the moral and ethical framework of the Israelites. Its teachings are not static but dynamic, intended to evolve with the lived experiences of the Jewish people. The recitation of the Ten Commandments further solidifies this bond, providing a foundational ethical code that resonates through the ages. The Ten Commandments encapsulate fundamental principles of justice, morality, and interpersonal relations, forming the bedrock of Jewish law and ethics. They serve as a universal call to righteousness, urging individuals to engage in self-reflection and to cultivate a society that values compassion and justice. In this light, the commandments become not only a set of rules but a pathway towards spiritual fulfillment and communal harmony. Each commandment invites us to consider our responsibilities to ourselves, to others, and to God. Central to this discussion is the Shema, a declaration of faith that encapsulates the essence of monotheism and the imperative to love and serve God with one's entire being. The Shema is much more than a prayer. It is a profound affirmation of identity and purpose, a rallying cry that binds the hearts and minds of the faithful. Its rhythmic recitation fosters a sense of belonging and continuity, urging individuals to internalize the commandments and to pass them down through generations. The call to love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might invites a holistic engagement with faith, encompassing not only intellectual assent, but also emotional and physical dedication. One of the most striking passages in Vaetchanan is the admonition against testing God, specifically in reference to the events at Massa, where the Israelites questioned God's presence and provision during their journey through the desert. This allusion serves as a cautionary tale, reminding the Israelites and future generations of the perils of doubt and the importance of faith. Rashi's commentary emphasizes the need to trust in God's providence, urging the faithful to remember the miracles of the past as a means of reinforcing their belief in the present and future. It is a reminder that faith is not merely a passive state of being, but an active engagement with the divine, one that requires trust in both times of plenty and times of scarcity. Ramban expands upon this concept, asserting that reliance on miraculous interventions may diminish their significance and meaning. Instead, he posits that true adherence to the commandments, even without full understanding, fosters a genuine connection with God. This perspective encourages the faithful to embrace the law's chakim without seeking constant supernatural validation. By fulfilling the commandments, individuals participate in a sacred rhythm that reinforces their relationship with God, allowing their faith to flourish based on commitment rather than spectacle. The theme of reward for the performance of mitzvot emerges prominently in this parasha, reminding us that the path of righteousness is lined with blessings. The Talmudic tractate Tanit highlights this notion through the lens of charity and its potential to yield prosperity, suggesting that through acts of giving, one may indeed test God in the pursuit of abundance. Rabbi Johannan's discussion with Resh Lakish emphasizes that while the general principle discourages testing the divine, there exists a unique exception when it comes to fulfilling commandments, particularly those related to tzedakah. This nuanced understanding of divine interaction encourages a relationship with God that is both respectful and dynamic, allowing for the faithful to engage with their Creator in tangible and meaningful ways. As we transition to the subsequent Sidrari, we encounter a clarion call against idolatry in the Promised Land and the imperative to offer sacrifices solely in the designated Beit HaMikdash. This portion, falling within a period of reflection and introspection leading up to Rosh Hashanah, invites the faithful to consider the weight of their actions and the covenant they share with God. The Haftorah, drawn from the prophet Yeshayahu, offers a message of hope, likening the people of Israel to a forsaken woman who will one day be restored and filled with divine mercy. This imagery serves as a powerful metaphor for renewal and resilience, encapsulating the journey from despair to hope. In Yeshayahu 54:13, the promise that all your sons will be disciples of the Lord speaks to the transformative power of education and knowledge in fostering peace and spiritual growth among the people. This prophetic vision emphasizes the importance of nurturing a generation that is connected to their heritage and committed to the pursuit of wisdom. Rabbi Elazar's insight that the presence of wise and learned individuals contributes to harmony in the world serves as a profound reminder of the integral role that education plays in the pursuit of a just and peaceful society. The more individuals are educated in the ways of the Torah, the greater the potential for peace and understanding to flourish. The richness of Parashat Vaetchanan serves as a timeless reminder of the complexities of faith, the significance of divine commandments, and the unwavering hope that sustains the Jewish people. The profound legacy of Parashat Vaetchanan, a reflection on mortality and purpose. Parashat Vaetchanan, a pivotal segment within the sacred narrative of Sefer Devarim, emerges as a poignant and reflective chapter in the broader saga of the Israelites' journey toward the Promised Land. Positioned as the second to last parasha of the Torah, it transcends mere historical recounting and delves into an intensely personal dialogue, presenting a vivid portrait of Moses, an iconic leader grappling with the complexities of mortality and the bittersweet nature of unfulfilled aspirations. This essay endeavors to explore the multifaceted layers of this parasha, examining the intricate tension between divine decree and human longing, while contemplating the enduring legacy of Moses, whose life and teachings continue to illuminate our moral and spiritual paths. The Book of Devarim stands apart from its predecessors in its tone and presentation. Transitioning to a more intimate first-person narrative, Moses speaks directly to the Israelites, offering a candid reflection on his own experiences, struggles, and hopes. Here, the narrative shifts focus from the collective journey of the people to the individual heart of their leader. The Israelites find themselves on the precipice of Eretz Yisrael, poised to enter the land that has been the object of their dreams and aspirations for generations. Yet, tragically, Moses is confronted with the stark reality that he will not partake in this long-awaited fulfillment. He is condemned to witness the land from afar, his dreams of stepping foot upon its sacred soil forever out of reach. His heartfelt pleas to God, "I wish I could cross the Jordan and see the good land." Devarim 3:25 resonate with profound desperation, revealing a man whose life has been devoted to the welfare of his people, yet who yearns for a personal triumph that will ultimately elude him. The weight of divine rejection is palpable in God's response to Moses. The words Rav Lok echo with a chilling finality that serves as a stark reminder of the limitations that even the most revered leaders face. This moment encapsulates a broader truth about the human condition. Despite our tireless efforts and unwavering dedication, we are often subject to forces beyond our comprehension or control. Moses' struggle becomes a universal metaphor for the inevitable confrontation with mortality and the profound desire to transcend it. His yearning for the promised land is not merely a wish for physical territory, but a deep-seated longing for purpose, fulfillment, and belonging. To further illuminate this poignant narrative, the Midrashic tradition enriches the text by inviting readers to engage with the inner turmoil of Moses as he grapples with the harsh realities of divine justice. The Midrash paints a vivid picture of a leader wrestling with existential questions about merit and consequence. In his contemplation, Moses reflects on the legacy of Joseph, whose bones were miraculously transported to the Promised Land. Why should I be denied this honor? Moses questions, seeking to understand the rationale behind his exclusion. God's response serves as a reminder of the profound implications of one's actions. He recalls the pivotal moment when Moses, in the presence of Yitro, denied his identity as a Hebrew. This denial becomes a defining factor in the divine decision, illustrating the intricate relationship between personal identity and destiny. The dialogue between Moses and God reveals a complex interplay of justice and accountability, underscoring how our actions and choices reverberate through time, shaping our destinies in ways that may be obscured from our immediate view. The Midrash emphasizes that God's decree is not arbitrary but rooted in moral and ethical considerations. Moses' lamentation, "Punish me with bodily pain, but do not deliver me into the hands of the angel of death," is a powerful expression of the human desire for life, for significance, and for the ability to fulfill one's purpose. This plea resonates deeply with individuals grappling with the specter of mortality, and it serves as a profound reminder of the universal quest for meaning in our finite existence. In this moment of despair, however, Moses does not succumb to self-pity. Instead, he channels his energy into one final act of teaching and leadership. With a renewed sense of purpose, he proclaims, "Now therefore, O Israel, hear the ordinances and the laws that I teach you to observe, that you may live." This declaration signifies a moment of transformation where Moses shifts his focus from personal yearning to communal responsibility. He urges the Israelites to embrace the teachings of the Torah as a means of attaining true life, emphasizing that the essence of existence lies not in the fulfillment of personal desires, but in the commitment to ethical living and the betterment of society. The essence of Parashat Vaetchanan encapsulates the delicate interplay between individual aspiration and collective destiny. While Moses may never physically enter Eretz Yisrael, he achieves a form of immortality through the teachings he bequeaths to his people. His bones may rest in an unmarked grave, but his spirit endures in the hearts and minds of generations that follow. This narrative serves as a powerful reminder that true legacy transcends physical presence. It resides in the values we instill, the lessons we impart, and the lives we touch with our actions and deeds. As we reflect on the significance of this parasha, we are inevitably drawn to contemplate the lives of those who have recently departed, individuals whose wisdom and presence have left an indelible mark on our lives and communities. Their legacies, much like that of Moses, remind us that while the body may perish, the impact of a life well lived continues to resonate through time. The lessons they impart and the values they embodied serve as guiding lights for those of us who remain. The legacy of Parashat Vaetchanan, therefore, is not merely about Moses' unfulfilled desires, but about the enduring power of moral integrity and the importance of living a life dedicated to the greater good. In grappling with the themes of mortality and purpose, we are called to embrace the teachings of the Torah with fervor, ensuring that we live not only for ourselves, but for the betterment of our communities. This is a timeless lesson that echoes through the ages. Our time is limited, and our days are finite, yet the essence of our deeds, our commitments to righteousness, and our capacity to inspire are what ultimately grant us life beyond the grave. In this way, we honor the memory of Moses and the countless others who have paved the way for us, reminding ourselves that while the gates of death may be inevitable, the gates of righteousness remain open to those who strive to live with purpose, integrity, and compassion. Thus, as we engage with the narratives of our tradition, let us remember that our legacies are forged not solely in the pursuit of personal achievements, but in the impact we have on the world around us. Parashat Vaetchanan invites us to reflect on our own journeys, encouraging us to embrace our roles as stewards of righteousness and agents of change. In doing so, we can ensure that, like Moses, we too contribute to a legacy that transcends our physical existence, resonating through the lives we touch and the values we uphold. Hasidic insights on Shabbos Nakamu, a journey from mourning to redemption. Shabbos Nakamu, the first Shabbat following the solemn observance of Tisha B'Av, serves as a pivotal turning point in the Jewish calendar. It is not merely a day of rest, but rather a profound moment of transition that invites reflection, healing, and ultimately hope. This Shabbat is the first in a series of 7 weeks during which we read Haftarah of Consolation, guiding us toward the joyous celebration of Rosh Hashanah. The name Nakamu, derived from the opening words of the Haftarah, Nakamu, Nakamu Ami, encapsulates the essence of this period, emphasizing the themes of comfort, resilience, and the enduring spirit of the Jewish people. In the wake of Tisha B'Av, a day marked by deep mourning and introspection, the message of Shabbos Nakamu is particularly poignant. It serves as a reminder that even in our darkest hours, the seeds of consolation and hope are sown. This theme resonates deeply within the teachings of our Hasidic masters. Recently, during a gathering inspired by the wisdom of my esteemed Rebbe, the Kopik Snitzer Rebbe Shlita, I was reminded of a powerful narrative from Tractate Makkos that encapsulates the profound interplay of mourning and redemption. The narrative recounts an episode involving 4 illustrious sages, Rabbi Akiva, Rabban Gamliel, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and Rabbi Yehoshua. As they walked through the streets of Jerusalem, they arrived at the site of the raised temple on the Temple Mount. The sight of foxes scurrying through the ruins where the Holy of Holies once stood evoked a wave of profound sorrow among the sages, who began to weep for the destruction of their sacred home. However, in stark contrast to their grief, Rabbi Akiva responded with laughter, prompting his fellow sages to question him. "Akiva, why are you laughing?" they implored. Rabbi Akiva's response was steeped in a deep understanding of the prophetic narrative surrounding the destruction and future redemption of Israel. He explained that the prophecies of destruction, as articulated by Uriah, serve as a backdrop against which the prophecies of hope, as expressed by Zechariah, can emerge. The juxtaposition of these prophetic voices reveals a profound truth. The reality of despair is not the endpoint, but rather a precursor to redemption. In witnessing the fulfillment of Uriah's prophecy, which foretold devastation and desolation, Rabbi Akiva found solace in the certainty that Zechariah's promise of restoration and joy was imminent. His laughter was not one of disregard for the suffering, but rather an acknowledgement of the cyclical nature of Jewish history, where mourning inevitably gives way to renewal. This concept reverberates through the ages, reminding us that the depths of our grief often contain the seeds of our eventual redemption. The narrative of Napoleon Bonaparte's encounter with the Jewish people further underscores this principle. Disguised as an ordinary citizen, Napoleon ventured into the Jewish quarter of Paris, curious to understand the sentiments of the Jewish populace. As he wandered the dimly lit streets, he noticed an unsettling silence, with homes shuttered and deserted. In the distance, he observed an elderly man moving slowly with a lantern, which led him to the synagogue. Upon entering, Napoleon was struck by the somber atmosphere. The congregation sat on the floor, enveloped in the dim light of flickering candles, weeping and lamenting the destruction of their holy temple. Intrigued and concerned, Napoleon inquired about the cause of such sorrow. The elderly man explained the significance of Tisha B'Av, recounting the long history of exile and suffering endured by the Jewish people. He spoke of the centrality of the temple's loss in the Jewish psyche, a poignant reminder of the fragility of their existence. The emperor was profoundly moved by the depth of their mourning. He declared, "I maintain that a people who still mourns after 1,600 years for its holy temple will surely one day soon see it rebuilt." Napoleon's assertion underscores a vital truth. Within the depth of our grief lies the promise of redemption. Just as a wheel must descend before it can ascend, so too must we navigate through the valleys of sorrow to reach the peaks of joy and renewal. The Chortkover Rebbe's interpretation of this profound encounter sheds light on the inherent connection between mourning and redemption. He explained that the point of deepest mourning often serves as the root of our eventual redemption. Like a revolving wheel, when one spoke comes into contact with the ground, it immediately begins its ascent. This cyclical nature of joy and sorrow mirrors the experiences of the Jewish people throughout history, illustrating that our mourning is not an endpoint, but rather a necessary phase in our spiritual journey. The Kopik-Snitzer Rebbe elaborates on this theme through a novel interpretation of Psalm 145, known as Ashrei. In this psalm, the absence of the letter Nun, which represents downfall and defeat, serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of our existence. The Talmud explains that the letter Nun signifies the fall of Israel as expressed in the verse, "Fallen not to rise again is the maiden Israel." However, immediately following this absence, the psalmist introduces the letter Samek, symbolizing support and strength. This transition signifies that even amid our lowest points, we are sustained by a higher power and a promise of restoration. The Book of Lamentations, which concludes with the letter Mem, embodies the mourning of Tisha B'Av, while the subsequent elegies, beginning with Samek, the promise of support and renewal that lies ahead. This intricate interplay between absence and presence, mourning and hope, reflects the essence of our spiritual journey as a people. As we observe Shabbos Nakamu, we are invited to embrace the duality of our existence, the sorrow of our past and the hope for our future. The act of sitting on the floor in mourning is not merely an expression of despair. It is, in fact, a profound declaration that our pain is the precursor to our redemption. The very act of mourning becomes a catalyst for renewal, a necessary phase in our spiritual journey toward joy and fulfillment. In this sacred time, let us reflect on the teachings of our sages and the wisdom of our Rebbes. Let us find solace in the knowledge that our collective mourning is not in vain, but rather a prelude to the joy that awaits us. May Shabbos Nakamu inspire us to rise from our depths, embracing the promise of comfort and renewal as we journey together toward the light of redemption. The themes of mourning and consolation intertwined in this Shabbat serve as a reminder that as a people, we are not defined solely by our suffering, but rather by our unwavering spirit and our capacity to hope. A Guten Shabbos.